Whether you want it or not, the only real path to healing and to the ultimate healing where you don't swing back and forth lays through love and forgiveness. And the thing is that it's kind of love and forgiveness to everyone else, but really it starts with love and forgiveness towards yourself, because everything you feel to anybody else, you do that because you feel that it benefits you in some way. Being offended on somebody else makes you feel like this way you have some sort of revenge, or being being angry on someone, hatred, other things. And you cannot really forgive anybody deeply without forgiving yourself first. You cannot deeply love anybody without deeply loving yourself first. And those things, really, if you look at them, if you look at the relationships from the point of view of the source within you, and just tune into the emotional field between you and people, you really understand that all relationships are just a reflection of your inner world, of how you feel within. And knowing that and accepting that, where do you start from to resolve or fix or do or achieve anything, really? What can you possibly start with apart from working on yourself? This is the real key. And whether I'm telling truth or not, the only way for you to know that is to listen to your source and hear whether it resonates or not. But if you connect with your being, well, you will see that everything is just a projection. And so let's start with self-love. Let's start with self-forgiveness. How to do that? It's a process, really. It's a process of, really, how do you build good, deep relationships with others? You don't only do that through bright, nice, fun moments, because that forms a nice friendship, sort of on a certain level, 100%. But it's not deep enough. You learn each other. You fall really deeply in love with each other, knowing how you solve the problems, going into deepest, maybe sometimes darkest moments together, and getting out of it together as well. It's a beautiful process, and through those times you build this deep trust and knowing of the person. That's the same way you do it with yourself. And to go through it all, you need to start trusting that you can go through that, and that you will, this Miley Cyrus song, I Can Hold My Own Hand. Well, freaking hold your own hand and support yourself. Yes, there's only you. There are not 2 or 3 yous, but you can parent and support versions of yourself that need support, and you can never cut that amount of love, support, appreciation, and everything you need, really, from outside before you truly learn and for the first time experience getting it from yourself, from your whole entire being. And good thing is that you are not alone in this. You are the part of the source. Eventually it's not only you holding yourself, it's the whole universe in existence within you, which is you. You're not separated from it. You are the part of it. It's just impossible because you are exactly it. And so all of it is there to be for you and to experience whatever you experience with you. And you can sometimes not feel that. Well, that's because we believe that we are separated, and many times we are conditioned to believe that it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you have yourself, and to truly start feeling that you need to go through these darkest moments together with your own self. And how to do it is starting to really feel what you feel. In most cases, we just try to escape and rely on someone else's help. Really can be beneficial. A therapist, a psychologist, other practitioners, that's fantastic. But getting to know yourself deeply and building those relationships and learning to trust yourself and learning things about yourself, they are coming through going into those depths within yourself, by yourself, and learning to rely on yourself as well. That's actually the most important, because so often we will go to the therapy or just have somebody we fully rely on to tell us what will happen, or to therapy us, to drag us out of that black hole. And this is great. That's great. That can work really well. But eventually we become really dependent. We have zero idea that we can actually do that for ourselves, by ourselves. And how would we know really if we never tried? And how would we ever try if we were afraid? Well, do it afraid. Do it scared. There's no other way to do it for the first time. And it's the leap of faith which you have to do, without which it's impossible to experience that inner strength and all the love you actually really have to give yourself. You've been blocked. You've been blocking it. And you had no idea you had access to it. And you had no idea you had access to all the compassion before you cried on your own, feeling those extreme painful emotions from the past you haven't been experiencing for years, actually, that have been triggered every time something on certain topics appear, and it's been triggering these feelings, but those real feelings or their real root hasn't been touched yet. And suddenly you get to stay in that dark room by yourself and go into it. Stay there, hug yourself, cry with yourself, and knowing that that's okay. Being afraid and knowing that that's okay too. Shivering, but also knowing that that's okay too. Another part of this is that to people who are not prepared, it may sound cringe to stay on your own and experiencing some stuff like a crazy type of person. Well, I highly recommend that if you really want to learn yourself. It's a thing that requires bravery. And if you're afraid of, if you have this self-image of looking cringe, if you're seeing yourself from the side and thinking, oh my god, what am I doing and stuff, well, just let it be there for a while. It's okay, because those are these crazy illusions and conditions we've been taught for years and decades, actually. And I don't think we should fight them. I think we should acknowledge that they exist, but still do things which we have to do in order to get into the better place. So do it scared. Do it alone. But what you will find through that is the whole world. It's the most beautiful moments and the biggest heartbreaks. Really, well, I don't say you need to experience the heartbreak. Sometimes you just got to go back into the thing in the past that caused that heartbreak, which never have really been mended. So you just stay there, experience it, whatever you got to experience, and the longer you get through that with yourself, the more you start to trust yourself, the more you start to notice yourself, the more your inner world starts to grow and your inner bubble, aura, energetic field becomes bigger and bigger. And that's when you start loving, you start forgiving. You know that it's not just you have been a terrible person, it's so many conditions and things you tried to cope with in the moment, and you did your best, even though you don't think so, you didn't think so. But honestly, with the person you've been at the moment, with the tools you had and all the information you had access to, or all the belief systems in your world, in your point of view, you couldn't have really done better at the time, and that's completely okay. Understanding, seeing those versions of you and still finding strength to love them, that's what's gonna cut all those pieces of puzzles and putting them back into your big, higher light and wiser self. And this way you're integrating more and more of those broken pieces which have never actually been acknowledged and truly loved, because you've been so ashamed of them and you've been just trying to pull them away and to run away from them. When they all come together and they become one big part of you, you acknowledge them, you acknowledge yourself, and you're not trying to run away from yourself. That's when your frequency starts to emanate this extreme power of authenticity, as this is the highest frequency possible. There are love, joy, peace, which are one of the highest. They are amazing, but authenticity is so much higher than all of that and all of others which exist. It's magnetic, it's strong, it's true. Nothing can beat that. And if something tries to, what sense does it make? What difference does it make for you when you have all the strength and inner, really whole world? And first of all, none, which is obvious, but there's the irony, because everything starts to shift at this moment. The moment you have this built inner strength, this knowing of yourself, this trust, and it doesn't need to be extremely big. Yes, it's a constant work. It's growing. But once you try it, it's already there, and it just gets stronger and bigger and cooler, and it gets cozier to be with yourself. It gets more pleasurable to live. It gets nicer to walk down the street, to breathe the air, to sit in your dark room with yourself, to fall asleep, to wake up. Well, everything really. And that's when the outer world starts to reflect whatever is within you as it just manifests by itself. You don't even need to try, because everything manifests anyways. You've been feeling and you are feeling, but it's because you're unaware of it and you couldn't ever go down to experience the full depth of what you're actually feeling on daily basis. You just lost the access. You never actually have gone to this operational system which is within you, which are your emotions, the feelings, that everything that gets triggered every time. And once you look at it and you go down and you go through that and you see that there is no bottom really, and once you go through that fear, it's like from the Dune. I'm sorry, I'm a movie geek a little, but like I go through the fear, and then the only thing that remains is like only me. It's not the exact words, of course, but the idea is that really you are the only thing that remains when you go through that. And this immense power, that's what manifests, really. The situations, people you meet, is completely different. I probably shouldn't go into details right now, but just try and you will see. And let me know if it worked. But it will work. I believe in you because once I believed in myself and it was damn scary. But that's the best thing you can do for yourself.